Is this one thing I used to see when we were in our 20s? Someone got a job, and the first thing he thought about is to buy a car. In Nairobi, if your salary is below 100,000 shillings, I can say net salary, you should not own a personal car unless you are using the car for business. Now, 100,000 in Nairobi is a very small amount, and the disadvantage of owning a car is that once you have thought of buying a car, you have to move to an area where there is security and parking. Now, for example, if you are living in a place like, let's say, Umoja, most houses don't have parking space. Even Tasia, Pipeline, Utawala. So you have to move to a place like South B or South C or Langata. And in most cases, houses which have parking space are more expensive because you have to pay for that service. Now, for example, when you don't have a car, the rent will be around 8,000, 9,000, 10,000, up to 12,000. But immediately you move to a house with a parking space, your rent will increase to more than 18,000. And that is additional expense. Now, with a car, you have to add service fee. Every year you have to take your car to a service and spend less than 30,000, more than 30,000. You have to buy tires or repair them and other spare parts. You are going to take to a car wash. If your car is valued 1 million and above, you have to go to comprehensive insurance. Most people prefer comprehensive because it covers even the driver and those ones you are carrying. So it means you are going to pay insurance 70,000 shillings and above every year. So when you when you buy a car, personal car, it means it comes with additional expenses of more than 150,000 every year. Guaranteed. More than 150,000. When you don't own a car, you are not worried of fuel. All that you do in Nairobi is just move to the stage, take a matatu, pay your 100, 70 shillings, 50 shillings, reach your destination. But once you acquire one, if you are spending 7,000 shillings on fuel, it will double. So it is even parking. I have not even included parking. You go to, in a matatu, if you are from, let's say, Utawala to CBD, all you need is to pay 150,000 up to CBD. From there, you do your own things and you board a matatu home. But if you have a personal car, you have to reach town, CBD, then look for parking. Then you are worried of security, you pay those boys. It's a lot of work. Of course, there is some comfort, but that's the only thing you enjoy. And even matatu, there's comfort. You have options. We have taxi. You can pay that and reach CBD. So if you don't, or for example, you are in your 20s, you don't have a home, you have not built your own home, it is pointless to own a matatu. No, to own a car, personal car. Because in your 20s, there is that pressure. You want to show people that you have arrived. So the first thing you think of is buying a matatu, buying a car. So once you go and floss, you go and show your friends, you go and show your family members, you want to reach home, the village, and show others that you have arrived. But in the real sense, you are wasting yourself. You are wasting money. Because a car is a depreciating asset. If you buy it 1 million today, the next 2 years it will be around 600,000, 500,000. So if you are in your 20s, you just drop your ego and play low. Instead of buying a car and you have a job, you are earning, let's say, 90,000. So what should you do? Go and get a house, like a bed sitter, a small one. Pay 8,000 every month. If you are earning 80,000 net salary, you remove rent, 8,000, that's 72,000. Transport, food, and everything, let's say it's 20,000. You remain with 50. So you are able to save 40,000 every month. Imagine you save that 40,000 every month, and for even 3 years only. That is around 1.5 million in 3 years. That is inclusive of interest. For example, if you save in a money market fund, even if you save in fixed deposit account, you'll earn interest. Even if you save in a circle. Now, if you save in a circle, you save 40,000 every month. In 3 years, we'll have around 1.8 million, 1.5 million, up to 1.8. You are allowed to take a loan of up to 4 times. Let's say you take a loan of 3 times. If you had 1.5 times 3, that is 4.5. That is enough to buy land in Nairobi and build a 2-bedroom house. And that way you have solved the issue of rent. 4.5. You have solved that. Then from there, you have sacrificed your 3 years. You don't own a car. So from there, even if you buy a car, you don't have the issue of rent. You'll never have the issue of parking, because you'll be parking in your compound. So that's how people grow. You will take another 4 years, you'll pay your loan, and you are a free person. But if you buy a car, and now the car is every year, imagine 150,000 every year. 150,000. It means what you can save every month, what you can save is something like 10,000, 15,000, instead of saving at least 40,000. And you might even not save. I've seen that, and I've seen so many people, especially the youth, living on loans just to keep their lifestyle. And when you own a car, there's a way that you despise those ones who don't have. You only associate with people with cars. Even where you eat, You just monitor that. Even when you eat during lunchtime, it is where you can park, not those small vibanda. And that change of lifestyle will cost you in the long run. So when you own a car, of course, yes, but after 5 years, after 10 years, that's when you start feeling guilty. Your friend who did not own a car as is having a home, he also owns a car. But you, the only thing you have is a car, and you are living in Langata where rent is 40,000 every month. In case you lose a job, who will suffer more? And you know, losing a job in Kenya doesn't mean that you'll get another one immediately. You might lose a job and become jobless forever. So when you are earning 100,000 and below, this is small amounts, little amount in Nairobi. But if you don't want to develop yourself, you can own a car and continue with life. Now, if you're earning less than 100,000 and you have a home, owning a car is not bad because you can manage it. So the first thing you should solve in Nairobi is the issue of rent. Once you have done that, then from there you can live the way you want. But if you are living in Kilimani, paying 70,000 shillings rent, your salary is 180,000 shillings. You'll work for salary, you'll work for rent and that car that you own. And when you're living in a place like Kilimani, it is very difficult to survive without owning a car because it is status. But if you live in a place like Pipeline, even if you don't own a car, nobody cares. Nobody cares. So someone might be asking, how much should I earn for me to own a car if I'm living in a rented house? Now, if you are living in a rented house and you are earning a net of, let's say, 150,000, you rent a house of 30,000, that's okay, because house of 30,000, another 30,000 expenses, you remain with something like 90,000. 90,000 food, rent, and whatever. You can save 50,000 shillings. That is okay. But with 100,000, it's very difficult to save and do something that will help you in future. And as you know, times move very fast. You just blink 5 years, you blink 10 years, and there's a stage you reach in life. For example, 40 years and above, you start feeling guilty, especially if you're living in a rented house. You find in that house, almost everyone is younger than you. It's just for the youth. Your age mates, all of them have got their own homes. Someone wants you to go to their home to celebrate birthday for their kids. You find that they have very nice homes, but you're still living in an apartment. You start feeling guilty, even if you have a very big, you live in 4-bedroom house, you have nice seats, a very big screen, and you have a very good car. You don't feel comfortable because it's that freedom of living in your own house than just renting one. You can't be comfortable when you are renting in Nairobi. And even in your job, when you hear that people are going to be retrenched, you start trembling because you know that once you lose your job, you'll go back to zero. So you can even you can even develop depression if you don't have a home. But once you have yours, you don't fear even losing your job because you can survive. So don't own a car if you're earning less than 100,000.